The untold stories of courage and sacrifice, forgotten heroes of military history. War. It's a word that sends shivers down our spine. It's a time of braveness and sacrifice, where ordinary people are called to do extraordinary things. The stories of those who fought in wars have been celebrated, told, and retold countless times. But what about the forgotten heroes of military history? Those whose testimonies have been buried below the sands of time, their sacrifices unnoticed and their bravery ignored. In this video, we will be shedding light on these unsung heroes. Their tales of courage, selflessness, and sacrifice will encourage you and go away you in awe. From troopers who gave their lives for their comrades to the unsung heroes of the domestic front, their bravery deserves to be remembered and honored. Join us as we pay tribute to the courageous guys and ladies who have served their countries, frequently with no awareness or reward. Their testimonies will contact your heart, encourage your spirit, and remind you that even in the darkest of times, there are still heroes among us. So sit back, relax, and prepare to be moved using the untold stories of courage and sacrifice, forgotten heroes of military history. The first story in the untold stories of courage and sacrifice, forgotten heroes of military history takes us to World War II and a young soldier named Desmond Doss. Unlike his fellow soldiers, Doss refused to raise a weapon into battle. However, he still decided to serve his country. Desmond Doss used to be a Seventh-day Adventist and believed in the commandment, "Thou shalt no longer kill." But that did not give him from enlisting in the U.S. Army in 1942. During his training, Doss was once ridiculed and stressed by way of his fellow troopers for his refusal to elevate a weapon. However, he by no means wavered in his convictions. In 1944, Doss used to sent to the Pacific theater of the war. He served as a medic in the Battle of Okinawa, the place he saved the lives of endless soldiers. Despite being wounded himself, Doss endured dealing with the injured and even crawled through enemy fire to reach a wounded soldier. For his bravery, Doss was once awarded the Medal of Honor, turning into the first conscientious objector to get hold of the prestigious award. Our next story is about a team of troopers known as the Ghost Army. During World War II, these courageous guys used deception and trickery to lie to the enemy and assist win the war. The Ghost Army used to be a top-secret unit made up of artists, engineers, and sound technicians. Their mission was once to deceive the enemy by developing pretend battlefields, tanks, and artillery. They would use inflatable tanks and sound recordings to create the phantasm of a giant military in a sure location, whilst the actual Navy would assault from an exclusive direction. The Ghost Army used to be instrumental in many battles, which includes the Battle of the Bulge. They had been capable to persuade the German military that there used to be a massive Allied pressure in a positive location, inflicting the Germans to divert troops and assets away from the real attack. Despite the fundamental position they performed in the conflict effort, the Ghost Army's things to do remained categorized till the 1990s. The third story in the untold stories of courage and sacrifice, forgotten heroes of military history takes us to the Korean War and a soldier named Tibor Rubin. Despite going through discrimination and imprisonment, Rubin in no way gave up on his mission to serve his country. Tibor Rubin was once a Hungarian-born Jewish immigrant who enlisted in the U.S. Army in the course of the Korean War. Despite his lack of English proficiency, Rubin confirmed brilliant ability as a soldier and used to be in the end encouraged for the Medal of Honor. However, his commanding officer was once anti-Semitic and averted Rubin from receiving the award. Rubin used to be also taken prisoner by way of the Chinese military and spent 2.5 years in a POW camp, the place he was once subjected to brutal treatment. Despite the discrimination and hardships he faced, Rubin by no means gave up on his mission to serve his country. After his launch from the POW camp, Rubin endured serving in the military till his retirement. In 2005, he used to be ultimately awarded the Medal of Honor, turning into one of the few Jewish Americans to get hold of the award for movements in combat. The next story is about a crew of girls recognized as the WASPs, or Women Air Force Service Pilots. These courageous ladies flew Army planes for the duration of World War II, paving the way for future generations of girl pilots. The WASPs have been a team of civilian lady pilots who have been educated to fly Army planes at some stage in World War II. Their mission used to be to ferry planes from factories to Navy bases, releasing male pilots for fight duty. Despite their indispensable position in the battle effort, the WASPs have been now not given Army repute or benefits. They also confronted discrimination and harassment from male pilots and officers who believed girls had been no longer healthy to fly Navy planes. Despite these challenges, the WASPs flew over 60 million miles in whole and delivered over 12,000 Navy aircraft. Tragically, 38 of the 1,074 ladies who served as WASPs misplaced their lives for the duration of their service. However, their contributions to the combat effort had been generally unrecognized till a long time later. In 1977, the U.S. Congress sooner or later diagnosed the WASPs as Navy veterans, and in 2009, they have been awarded the Congressional Gold Medal. Today, the legacy of the WASPs is by the ladies who observed in their footsteps and grew to become Army pilots. Our fifth story takes us to the Vietnam War and a soldier named Roy Benavidez. Despite being advised he would in no way stroll again, Benavidez proved everybody incorrect and went on to emerge as one of the most embellished troopers in U.S. history. Roy Benavidez grew up in poverty and joined the military at the age of 19. During his career in Vietnam, Benavidez was once critically injured in a helicopter crash and was once informed he would in no way stroll again. But Benavidez refused to take delivery of his destiny and spent months in rehabilitation, pushing himself to stroll again. He once decided to return to lively obligation and sooner or later did, regardless of his injuries. In 1968, Benavidez was once on a mission to rescue a team of troopers who had been trapped at the back of enemy lines. Despite being shot more than one time, he fought off enemy troopers and carried his injured comrades to safety. He used to be shot once more and once more, however persevered to battle till reinforcements arrived. For his bravery, Benavidez used to be awarded the Medal of Honor. He went on to serve in the Army for some other decades and grew to be a recommendation for veterans' rights. The sixth story in the Untold Stories of Courage and Sacrifice, Forgotten Heroes of Military History takes us to World War I and a crew of troopers acknowledged as the Harlem Hellfighters. These courageous guys confronted discrimination domestically and abroad, however by no means wavered in their dedication to serving their country. The Harlem Hellfighters have been an all-black regiment of troopers who have been dispatched to battle in France in the course of World War I. Despite their braveness and bravery, they confronted discrimination and segregation from their fellow troopers and had been at the start denied the possibility to combat in combat. However, the Harlem Hellfighters refused to supply up and ultimately have been given the risk of battle in battle. They served with big differences and bravery, and their regiment grew to be one of the most adorned devices in the war. Our final story takes us to the Iraq War and a soldier named Monica Lynn Brown. Despite being only 19 years old, Brown confirmed extraordinary bravery and braveness in the face of danger. Brown was once a medic in the U.S. Army and used to be serving in Iraq when her convoy used to be attacked with the aid of enemy fire. Despite being injured herself, Brown ran in the direction of the wounded troopers and started out treating them. She shielded the wounded with her physique and used her scientific education to keep their lives. For her bravery, Brown was once awarded the Silver Star, turning into only the second lady because World War II obtained the award for movements in combat. And there you have it, the untold stories of courage and sacrifice, forgotten heroes of military history. These heroes and their sacrifices may have been forgotten by some, but their legacies live on through their bravery and commitment to serving their country. We hope that by sharing these stories, we have inspired you to learn more about the heroes of our past and honor their sacrifices. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the History Hub for more fascinating stories about the past. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.